Hi, I'm Dazza Greenwood here at the MIT Media Lab, and we're just doing some quick previews of some of the interesting speakers and sessions that will be convened here as part of the MIT Legal Hackathon later this week. And so we have live our collaborator, Thomas Hardjono, who will be running a session on UMA, and then also be participating in a joint session with LaVanne Reimer, who is joining us remotely. And so why don't we start quickly, Thomas, who are you, I guess? What's your role, and what is the session?
Sure. I'm the executive director of the MIT Kerberos and Internet Trust Consortium, located here, MIT. We are an open source software organization that's working in the area of the personal data ecosystem. My talk on UMA. UMA stands for User Managed Access. It is a technical standard for user-centric control of personal data. It has a legal component in there, and the specification is called Binding Obligations, that allows legal text to be associated with some of the protocol flows, which is why I think this session will be of interest to people in the legal area to listen to and to understand.
Yeah, and maybe contribute to. So,
of course, contribute to. We're always looking for contributors.
Here, here. And Thomas is one of the specification authors, and this coming cycle of writing at the Media Lab will be taking on the version of the legal binding obligations part. So do listen in and do share your ideas. I'm trying to gather ideas as I help on that part of the specification. So also, there's going to be a session related to something broader markets and ecosystems, you might say, that are developing that relate to identity, personal data control, and there'll be some collaboration on those sessions. And LaVanne, maybe you could introduce yourself, and what is your session title?
The session title is Markets and Ecosystem Governance, and I'm a lawyer turned entrepreneur. More recently, I've been working with data-related technologies, and my interest is in going into markets and ecosystems where there's very little regulatory control, but a whole lot of unfairness and lack of transparency, and changing that, transforming those markets and ecosystems. No new regulations required.
Outstanding. And we realize that there's a real affinity between a session that Eric Skase and Thomas will be convening at the hackathon that relates to identity marketplace building. And so you'll be doing some collaboration, as I understand it, right?
Yes, so I'm going to be hopefully useful to LaVanne there in helping her run the session successfully. I believe Eric is also going to be present.
Well, I'm excited too about being able to take this conversation from the more general concepts that Thomas and others are discussing into the practical space I've been focusing on, which is commercial credit, and that's how small business owners access loans and procurement opportunities using data.
Right, data. I mean, credit decisions, credit worthiness. It's a lot of that. It's identity data. It's certainly personal. And when in the small business context, gosh, it's so frequent, it's so proprietary in small companies. It really merges the data that's gathered to make those decisions. And so it's such an interesting community, and be a great opportunity, I'm sure, for the programs being developed at MIT to be able to cross-match a little bit in this use case, and hopefully vice versa, some things that can be learned from looking over the horizon at some of the really interesting architectures that Thomas and Eric have been plugging away at. So I look forward to that session very much, and hopefully those of you out in internet land that are interested, sign up, legalhackathon.org. And there's an Eventbrite free registration. You can participate fully online, pose your questions, join the discussion, and help create that architecture, help create the markets and the ecosystems that are evolving. Help do it today, or actually on Thursday and Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Great. And so thanks again to both of you for your willingness to jump in, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Great. Thank you. You guys too.